of the Wyld Whirl Quilt along. The Wyld Whirl pattern is written by me, Tawny. I own Wildwood Creative, and I've designed this pattern to work perfectly with fat quarters. So first off, decide what size do you want to make. Looking at the pattern, you can see the different number of fat quarters that you can use and then the different size that you'll end with depending on how many fat quarters you use. 16 is a great throw size, and I like 9 for a baby size quilt, which is what I'm going to be making. Let's talk about fat quarters. We have a ton of these custom fat quarter bundles that we make. We usually use some kind of inspiration and pull together fabrics like we did for this Brother Bird Another Year bundle. This one has 16 fat quarters, which makes a throw size Wyld Whirl. I love this size. This is the one I made during our last quilt along, and I love it. So there's a bundle with 16 fat quarters. You could also use a factory bundle. So this one is the Flowerland collection from Ruby Star Society. The nice thing about going this route is the fabrics are already coordinated because they are part of a collection. So that's an easy way to go. What I'm using is a bundle that we put together for the shop using these Good Spirits fabrics. I'm actually making this quilt for my cat, so I had to use these little cat prints. They're too cute. And then I pulled a few mystery fat quarters that just complemented the color palette to fill it out. And now that you have an idea what fabric you want to use, we can actually use a tool called quiltmockup.com, and we can plop our fabrics in and get an idea of what our finished quilt will look like. So this is quiltmockup.com. You find the pattern that you want to work with. For this one, you can adjust the columns and rows to different sizes. So I'm setting mine at 3x3 to do the baby size. And then I'm just heading over to our website to find the Good Spirits fabrics that I'm using. But you can use any images you can find online and plop them into this tool. So I'm finding the fabric that I need, copying the image address, heading back over to the quilt mockup tool and pasting that into the little box. So just keep doing that until you have all the fabrics that you want to use. And then this is the best part. You hit update and look at that. There's your quilt. The fun thing with the Wyld Whirl quilt is you can keep clicking update and it'll keep generating new mock-ups for you, which is super fun. These are other mock-ups of bundles that we have in the shop. So these are also on the product listing. So we give you an idea of what the quilt will look like using the bundle. And then once you have your fabrics figured out, another suggestion I love for picking out fabric for any project really is using a value viewer tool, or sometimes in quilting it's called a Ruby ruler is another brand that makes these. But it just shows you the value of the fabric better, so you can kind of see the light and the dark and make sure that you have like a good distribution of contrast. So here's that Another Year bundle we were looking at through the value viewer. There's the fabrics I'm using. And then to give you an idea, here's a photo, there's the value viewer. And then another thing you can do if you don't have one of these is just take a black and white photo. It'll do the same thing of just showing you the different values of the fabrics, and you can make sure you have a good range of values for your project. So I have all of my fabric picked out, and our next step is going to be pressing and cutting these. So make sure to follow along for part 2.